Hey family, so I'm gonna do a little bit of different video but than I normally do, but everything needs to be addressed. Everything. Even when it comes to, because you gotta enter and understand, there is a lot of brothers and sisters that are not awake and or aware of everything that's going on. And there are some that are. Okay? But the ones that are just coming in, to seeing outside the box, they are not going to, they're going to jump on whatever feels and resonates with them at that precise moment because they're unaware. Okay? So you're taking information, and it might not even be information, but you're spewing words and you're using linguistics, and they don't even enter and understand linguistics. They don't enter and understand that their words, their language that they have been taught to speak is Babel. 1. 2, the language that they speak and the words that they see every day of their life are inverted. Okay? They are anagrams. They are semantics for what they really mean, which means the opposite of whatever they are saying. Okay? Whatever they're saying is the exact opposite of that. So let's play through this video a little bit, and I'm going to pause it during the video. And this has to be addressed because this is a really big problem. Some people don't want to address it. I will address it. And I'm up for the challenge that anybody wants to, try to go and spew whatever they want to spew. I'm up for it.
Is the greatest weapon racism uses against black people. Fear. Fear, not money.
Fear is the biggest problem, regardless if it has to do with any type of race or not. Fear is the problem, because you know how many people I try to wake up that is in all categories of color, which is human. If this dude had any inner understanding of his lingo, then he would know that the word human is spelled H-U-E-M-A-N, which is H-U-E is hue, which is a color. That's why on your television you have hue, because you can adjust the color. That's why we are human beings. We're not mankind, because if we was mankind, then you are saying that we are kind of a man. Human means that hue is multiple different colors, color variations. Let's continue.
Not jail, not law, fear, psychological fear. They control you.
And I'm going to stop him. He says psychological fear, and they control you. They control you through frequencies. They control you through entertainment. They control you through money. They control you through the foods and poisons that they put in your food. They control you with the 80,000 chemicals that are in your water. They control you through microwaves to control your emotion and your thoughts. Now see, he don't want to get on a real intellectual level. He only wants to, he's speaking to the individuals that are not aware of realness, the truth of their reality, of their world, and who runs it. He probably is not aware that everything is ran under maritime law. Everything is ran and operated through the Britain Roman Empire. He probably is unaware that many folks of all hue have been enslaved and abused and murdered. Now, I'm not saying that they haven't done it more on, the individuals that are black, Indian, Mexican, Hispanic, of a darker color. I'm not saying that. Of a darker hue. That is not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that he is unaware, or if he is aware, he is not willing to say that, because this right here, to me, this right here is nothing but more division. And this is taking advantage of people that are unaware and are just now or waking up or coming awake to their reality being controlled and has been controlled by the Britain Roman Empire. Let's continue.
Your fear. So the first thing black people have to drop. See, we talk about we got to drop the miseducation. We got to.
And pause that. You do have to drop the miseducation, because as soon as we send our children to the private corporation schools, which is owned and operated through the Roman Empire, which is controlled, indoctrination is what it is. It's not an education, it is indoctrination. You want to indoctrinate someone. So you need to get them to conform to your way of thinking. And it seems to me that for someone that is speaking like they have consciousness, like they are operating out of their neocortex of their mind, and not operating in their R complex of their mind or the limbic system of their mind, would have a lot more consciousness and compassion things to say. Let's continue.
Drop the Eurocentric mindset. We got to drop the religions. We got to drop the holidays. We got to drop the dress code. We got to drop the weave and the perm. We got to drop the white women. You do. But guess what? You can drop all that. If you ain't drop your fear of white folks.
Why would you be fear of white folks? For one. Why? Because everybody you see in the damn presidential house is white except for Obama? Is that why? But as you see, what did Obama do for the black folks? He didn't do anything. As a matter of fact, when he signed in that health care and everybody thought that they was getting some type of good deal, what he really signed in is giving permission from the United Nations to go ahead and order 30,000 guillotines to start chopping motherfuckers' heads off. Now let's get deep. Let's continue.
Ain't no need to drop nothing else, because as Maya Angelou said, rest in peace to Queen Mother Maya Angelou, one of our great poets. Rest in peace to...
How can you refer to somebody when you don't even know them? A lot of people have wrote a lot of great things, but they didn't do great things. A motherfucker can spew and say a lot of great things, but that person would have to take the responsibility of what they say and what comes out of their mouth, which the tongue is a double-edged sword. Okay? Just like you go to school to learn how to spell. Okay? Then you go, after you go to school and learn how to spell, you take your test with your number 2 pencil, which is your number 2, your number 2 shit pencil. Okay? Because it's shit. Because that's what they teach you. So anyways, you learn how to spell, and after you learn how to spell, you learn how to write cursive. Now, you've learned how to learn your spells. Now you need to learn how you can curse them spells that you're going to cast, which is with the double headed sword, which is the tongue.
Queen Mother Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was asked, of all the virtues, Queen Mother Maya Angelou was asked, of all the virtues, which one is the most important? Of all the virtues, which one is the most important? And guess what she said? She said, of all the virtues, the most important one is courage. She said courage.
Courage is a very, very important one. And the first one would not be courage. The first one would be care. You need the 8th principle, which is care. What you care about on a day-to-day basis will be the driving force of your life. So what you put your intention to, where you put your energy to, where attention goes, energy flows. You don't understand what I'm saying?
She said, because if you don't have courage, You can't practice no other.
So after that, you would need courage. You have need to care, because you and what you care about, it needs to be from your heart. Factual truth, not something that you can spew and divide more. Because let me tell you, they plan to take out everyone. Okay? If you are not the 1% and you are in the 99, which is humanity, then you are done. That's what they say. They didn't say, oh, well, we're going to wipe out just this and just this and just this race. Well, no, it's the 99 everywhere. Is he telling you that there is over 800 FEMA camps in the United States right now that is housing thousands upon thousands of beings of all races? No, he's not. Let's continue.
Virtue. Facts. Facts.
Facts. You hear him. He's spewing facts, but he's not spewing facts. Because if he was spewing facts, then he would already knew that everything is operated and owned by a private corporation, including the fictitious fake money that everyone has willing to accept. So he's not spewing facts, because if he was spewing facts, he wouldn't be on this, division. That's what he's on. He's on divide and conquer. But let me tell you, you have foreign people coming in from other countries that it is operated through the United Nations that's getting ready to mass enslave the 99%. He's not going to tell you that, is he?
Facts. What do I say? What is Dr. Umar's 5 assessments? 5 assessments of conscious people. What are the?
Well, you've met a conscious person, and I'm well ahead of your game. And all I hear is a bunch of BS being spewed, causing more division. Let's hear your 5 assessments you have, since you're supposed to be conscious.
5 assessments for Dr. Umar. Courage. Consciousness.
What about care, courage, kindness, loyalty, compassion, inner and overstanding, dropping all of the polluted and poisoned food that we have? What about the air that we breathe in? Is he talking about the air, the chemtrails that's being sprayed, and nanoparticulates being sprayed, the heavy aluminums in our fucking food, or heavy metals that's in our food that can be dragged across water with a magnet? I'll bet he's not.
Commitment, consistency, and creativity. Courage is number 1.
And not one of there did he say anything about love. Not one of there did he say anything about compassion. So how can a person that is saying that they are conscious have no anything on his 5 assessments? Love or compassion is not in any of those. Heart is not in there. Well, see, you get your courage from your guts, right? Your gut. Because if you ain't got no guts, you ain't got no glory. You get your loyalty from your heart. So if you ain't got no compassion and you ain't got no care, then you ain't got anything.
Courage. If you scared of white folks, you will be no good.
You better be scared of the true reality of what's really going on. White folks is the least of your worries, buddy. Most of your worries is, let me tell you, the United Nations, the Britain Roman Empire that is coming to collect every vessel, every registered vessel. Did you tell him about the straw man, Mr. Dr. Umar Johnson? Did you tell them about how when you go to a hospital and you let them sign your baby with a birth certificate and a footprint that is mailed to the Vatican? Have you told them that? Have you told them that they've been sold on the U.S. stock market for $650,000 to $700,000? And that there was an executive order that was signed massive executive orders that was signed through the 1960s. And one of those executive orders was to collect every registered vessel on this plane. I bet you didn't tell them that.
Courage, consciousness, consistency, commitment, creativity. Courage. Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, Shaka Zulu, Patrice Lumumba, Steve Biko, Thomas Sankara, Amilcar Cabral, Menelik II, His Majesty.
If they were so great, how come they didn't stop the Roman Empire? That's my question. If those individuals were so great in their work, then why are we in the situation that we all are in right now? Why is there things going on above us, and it seems like no one has any care or any inner understanding of what's really going on?
Haile Selassie Jah.
I can name names all day, but what have they done to change this reality for the best? Apparently they didn't do enough, or they didn't know enough, or they was maybe associated with the ones. And that's why we're still in the situation that we're in today, Mr. Umar. I ain't even call you a doctor.
Rastafari. Shout out to all my Rastafari family, brothers and sisters. Shout out to my Rastas down in South Africa, Johannesburg, and Cape Town, and other points in between. I love my Rasta family. They Garveyites like me, revolutionary Pan-African nationalists like WF. Shout out to the 12 tribes. And of course, shout out to the Bobo Shanti Rastafari. Marcus I, Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. At the end of the day, white folks will never truly be your friend.
Let me tell you something. I am the most loyal person you will ever know. So loyal that I put it on me. That's how loyal I am. So for him to sit here and say that white folks will never be your friend, won't you tell them the truth? And you must not know the truth. You must not know that everything is ran and owned and operated under private corporations. Even the money that you spend and slave for and give your current to get in return currency is an energy setup succubus system that was created through the Britain Roman Empire. Apparently he doesn't know this. Apparently he needs to be taken to school. And I'm just the one that'll do it.
They can't. Why? Because they have an obligation. And you see this, how many times you watch a slave movie where the black...
Why would you watch a slave movie? First off, because a slave movie was created through Hollywood. It was created through the Britain Roman Empire. So therefore, you've already accepted their methodology. You've already accepted their ideology. You've already stepped into that idealism of their world, accepting them to divide you. Who is going... Do you think for 1 second that we ain't all going to need each other? If you ever think that, then you have lost all your mind. You don't even have half of it left. And you ain't conscious, man. If you were conscious and you had any heart and care, for one, you wouldn't need shout-outs. And for two, you wouldn't... I'm going to expose this shit right here. You wouldn't need on your channel to put this shit right here. What is this? Here, let's blow this mug up. What is that? 60 billion views? What do you need that for? And I can tell you right now, you got 42,000 subscribers. That tells me that your channel hasn't been messed with, that it hasn't been taken down. That tells me that the information that you put out, they support it. You know, the ones that own YouTube, the ones that own Google. Because I know many and many and many of channels that have been taken down for actually speaking the truth. And they didn't even get to reach 42,000. They reached maybe 9,000 or 16,000 or maybe 5,000. And some didn't even reach that. But you ain't trying to, you know, you're trying to give pure truth. No, you're not. You're trying to send and create an army to take out one another, when in fact we all need one another. And you are sitting here sending people down the wrong path, and that is completely false. I recognize that, you know, you might feel some type of way, but you know what? You need to put that limbic system part of your brain, the emotion part of your brain aside. Stop operating on your ego and operate out of your heart. If you're capable of that, Mr. Umar Johnson.
Black slave and the white person, real good friends. They grow up together, and then they get to a certain age, and then all of a sudden, the white friend begin to step off. You seen this, right? Well, even if they adults, the white man treat the black woman a certain way, or the white woman treat the black.
And let me tell you something else. I had a black friend for 4 years. I went away, got locked up, and guess what? He tried to sleep with my wife. Now, does that mean that I should go out here and say that, oh, that means that every person that is dark colored, I should not trust? No. You have in all races ones that are selfish, self-centered, heartless, no compassion, don't know nothing about the 8th principle of care, none of that. And you sitting here leading people down the wrong way. I'll front you out.
A certain way, and then all of a sudden, one day out the blue, the white person tells them, you are
here, let me tell you another story. I was going to school, and I was getting jumped by 15 black folks. And guess what? I had a friend that was mixed. He was white and black. And do you know that he stood there? He didn't help me. He didn't help me at all. He watched me get my ass whooped. But I don't see it that way. The way I see it is, humanity has been under mind control. They have been controlled in what they should think, feel, do, and how they should live their life. Which is the same reason why everybody is out here either working a 9 to 5 or they're hustling the drugs that has been put out by the private corporations. You know, the CIA and all that.
And inward. And you see the look on a black person's face like, oh my God, I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends. You can never be the friend.
First off, if you had a friend like that, he wasn't a friend, because anybody that's your friend would not call you out of that. So if that individual, that person called you out of your name or says some racist shit like that, then he's not your friend. He under the same ignorance that the other individuals or other beings that are under.
Of a white supremacist. Let me say it again.
Now, no, you can't be friends with a white supremacist. No, you cannot. You can't. Now, he correct on that. You ain't trying, but we ain't talking about individuals that, we're talking about regular beings on a regular basis, not these Nazi son of a bitches that think totally wrong, with no compassion, with no heart, okay?
You can never have a white supremacist as a friend. Let me say it one more time.
And there's been plenty of times that I've been called a fucking cracker, a honky, all this. Do you think for 1 second that I'm going to let it bother me? What, another motherfucker in their ignorance? You think I'm going to let that ignorance bother me? No. Because I have a higher capacity of intellectual thought process than that individual. So no, I would not. Apparently you don't.
Can never have a white supremacist as a friend. And since all white people practice racism,
that's wrong. Because for one, I live in the hood. For two, I've always lived in the hood. For three, I ain't never practiced no damn white supremacist shit. So when you speak that, you are lying. You are lying to everyone that is listening to you, to your 42,000 followers that you have. And if you wasn't so thirsty for followers, you wouldn't have that 60 billion sitting right up on top of subscribe. Right? That means you thirsty. That's what that means. You're spewing. You ain't spewing knowledge. You ain't spewing nothing that has to do with any realistic reality shit. You're not doing it. I'm sorry, bro, but you're not. Only thing you are spewing is more division, more division. But you know what? We all going to need each other in the end, because what's coming, you can't handle it. Not you or 100 million could just handle it.
You can never have white friends.
Well, you can't have white friends if you want to go on what he's saying and listen to what he's saying. No, you can't. Because, for one, if you had any type of friends, you would make sure that the friends that you have wouldn't be under the same manipulation that you went through. If you woke up and you were not in that stage of being stuck and looking at everything inside that box, which apparently he wants everybody to keep doing, looking inside the box, not ever stepping outside of it and seeing the whole of everything. He just wants everybody to believe what he's saying. Like what he's saying. Look at the face he's making. What's wrong with this dude, man?
Facts.
I got facts for you all day, and it ain't got nothing to do with. I can tell you more facts and teach you more than you could ever teach me, or any of the 42,000 followers you have. Like I said, if you wasn't so thirsty, you wouldn't need to place on top where it says subscribe 60 billion views. For what? Because you know that you are deceiving them. And your channel's probably monetized. My channel's not monetized. If you doing it for the compassion, which you're not, because you ain't even spoke of anything with compassion. But if you was, you wouldn't need to put that above your where you says subscribe. You wouldn't need to do that.
Emotions do not confuse white people.
First off, emotions is something that they want you to live off of, because that's why they have eugenics. That is why they give our babies vaccinations. That's why they send them to school, and you cannot go to a public school or any school without being vaccinated, because they want to keep human beings dumbed down. They don't want them to think outside the box. They want them to think just like how you are. And that's why you have 42,000 subscribers, and that's why your channel hasn't been taken down.
As to the status of black...
Because you are helping them. You're helping them. That's what they want. They want folks like you to get other folks to conform and think. That way it could be a battle between all the human beings, but never look at the real non-human entities that is behind the veil, behind the curtain, which I have exposed many of them on my channel.
Let me say this again because this is an important one. Emotion.
Emotion operates out of your limbic system part of your brain. You have 3 levels. You have the R complex, which is the reptilian complex of your brain, which is scheduled for fight or flight. The second part of your brain is the limbic system, which is controlled through all emotion, whether it is sad, fear, anger, happiness, joy. All of it is coming to the limbic system part of your brain. And then you have the neocortex of your part of your brain, which is responsible for higher thought, higher order, and thinking, which apparently you're not operating out of your neocortex part of your brain. You probably don't even know anything about the neocortex part of your brain.
I have a white husband. He loves me. I have a white wife. She loves me.
What does the color of someone's skin have to do with if they love someone? What does that matter? You mean to tell me that people really buy into this fucking garbage? People really buy into, oh, because your skin is white, that means you can't love me. Or your skin is black, that means you can't love me. Or your skin is tan, or you're from Indian, or you're this and that. Or you can't love me because your skin color is just different color. That means you can possibly, you're incapable of loving or any higher thought process. Really? Really, dude?
That might be true, but that does nothing to change the power differential that exists between us and them. Let me
First off, the power differential between us and them actually has nothing to do with the color. It has everything to do with everything that's operating was already told in the Bible with the serpent, with the reptilian. And I will expose that. I have to expose it on this video. I've already exposed it on my other videos, but I'm going to include it on this video so that you and all your audience can see what is really operating behind the veil, because apparently you won't show them because you are stuck on divide and conquer, which is the same thing that your enemy has already planned for you, which is the United Nations, which is the Britain Roman Empire.
Say it again. I don't care how white people feel about you.
Apparently you don't care about how anybody feels, because when your 5 assessments, you didn't include anything that had to do with care, love, compassion, or any type of feeling. The only feeling you want to talk about was fear.
I don't care how they feel about you. I don't care what kind of emotions they have about you. Guess what? They will never change the way they treat the group you belong to. They might treat you a little differently.
I ain't never treated anyone differently because of the color of their skin. I have treated them fairly. They gave me respect. I respected them back. But I like to spew knowledge. I like to give them truth. So, and it had none of the facts ever has to do with the vision. That is their game. The Britain Roman Empire, that is their game. Their game is to get all of us to go against each other. So when it comes time for them to come in and enslave or kill the rest that's left, there won't be that many and the fight won't be that hard. How hard is it for that to see?
But they will never treat black people a little differently. Did you hear what I just said? They might treat you a little differently, but the way they feel about you does not change how they treat members of our in-group. Fact, a black man with a white wife, that white woman will still be just as racist towards other black folk. And
how can she be racist if she laid down with this black man and probably had babies with this black man and says she loving you? You mean to tell me a motherfucker so racist that they willing to just strip naked and get butt naked with you? That's how racist they are? That sounds stupid. That don't even make no sense.
she was before she married the black man. Your white best friend will be just as racist to...
And she would marry him, knowing that she felt that way, she would marry him. That just sounds so damn dumb. You cannot possibly have any conscious thinking or intellect going on in capacity in your brain, man. The process of intellect has passed you by. Or you're just choosing to spew this for your own selfish benefits. Divide and conquer. Sounds like that you're playing for the Britain Roman Empire team. You ain't here for humanity. You're here to, now you go out, okay, you get rid of us. Now who's going to help you take out the United Nations? Who's going to help you take out the CIA, Homeland Security, the secret military that is coming? Who's going to?
Was other black folk as she was before you became her best friend. Your relationship with white people does not change the way they interact with black folks. Wake up, learn.
Wake up. You need to wake up. You need to wake up. Okay? Because I can take you to school all day and I can correct everything that you're saying. Everything. Because you have a mentality of what the Britain Roman Empire wants you to have a mentality at. You are not. If you think that you're operating out of unconsciousness, then you have lost all your mind. And all you got up there is marbles going back and forth like a fucking pinball machine.
Disabled Negro.
It sounds like to me that you might be disabled in your brain and your heart. You might have courage, but you ain't got no heart and you ain't got no brains.